May I be able to benefit beings through my body, speech, and mind, even through my shadow. May all beings of ill will, human and non-human, who strive to harm my body and my life, be the very first to reach enlightenment. And may not even the least harm ever come about because of me. By the power of this, my pure intention, may all beings purify their misdeeds and perfect the accumulations, effortlessly arouse sublime bodhicitta, which is emptiness suffused with compassion, the unerring path of the victorious ones, and swiftly attain the omniscience of Buddhahood.
I think all you know, as my effort is promotion of non-sectarian. And particularly within Tibetan Buddhist tradition, I always give encouragement to receive teaching from teachers of different traditions, like 15th Dalai Lama.
Rimay is movement directed towards the overall survival of Tibetan Buddhism as a whole. It is one great tradition, and all of its branches and all of its fruits are equally important and worth and nourishing and cherishing. Rimay is about the necessity of respect and cooperation for the qualities of Dharma and the Dharma practitioners to manifest properly.
Traditionally in Tibet, there have been two approaches used by the many great scholars and accomplished masters. Indeed, while some concentrated on the study and practice of their own tradition, their own spiritual heritage, others expanded the field of their study and their practice of Buddhism from a non-sectarian point of view. This tradition already existed in Tibet among the great masters, and I think that today this non-sectarianism is extremely important and is the best Tibetan custom to follow.
Tsogyal Rinpoche wrote on Changyang Khyentse Choki Lodro, because he was the master of masters, and since the lineage holders of all the traditions had received initiations and teachings from him, and so revered him as their root teacher, he was able naturally to draw them together in a spirit of devoted harmony and cooperation. He was, and is still, regarded in Tibet as the greatest master of his time. He was an authority, an inspiration, a spiritual leader who brought all the lineage together.
Already started receiving teaching from Kunu Lama Rinpoche. Like Shantadeva's a text like that already. Then he very much non-sectarian. He received many teachings from many different traditions. So I want to receive one teaching, Nyingma tradition, Nyingma sort of teaching from him.
Being open to the incredible wealth of such great teachers in our broader Rimay heritage is a joyous celebration, the most wondrous cause for joy and gratitude. Gyaltsen Todzin Rinpoche.
One must see all the teachings as without contradiction, and consider all the scriptures as instructions. This will cause the root of sectarianism and prejudice to dry up, and give you a firm foundation in the Buddha's teachings. At that point, hundreds of doors to the 84,000 teachings of the Dharma will simultaneously be open to you.
His life was devoted to practicing, teaching, and helping invigorate all the practice lineages. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama, a student of Khyentse Rinpoche, said, "You see, his basic belief, basic attitude is non-sectarian, which I very much appreciate." Dilgu Khyentse Rinpoche.
The Dalai Lama was one of the many teachers who was inspired and taught by Khyentse Rinpoche.
He was one of my main gurus. And especially the Dzogchen teaching and also some other very rare oral transmission. Not only Nyingma tradition, but also Sajya tradition, Gyaluk tradition, and also Guhya tradition, which I received from him. So I consider late Khyentse Rinpoche is very, very grateful, very, very helpful for my spiritual practice.
Trulchik Rinpoche, one of the main Nyingma teachers of His Holiness Dalai Lama, promoted the preservation and spreading of the Buddhist teaching and practice, traveling widely to many countries all over the world, and is seen by many young lamas of all traditions as an unique figure of reference. His vast learning, his integrity and authenticity, his disarming simplicity, and above all this deep experience and realization being unequaled in the present day.
Together with the junior tutor of the 14th His Holiness Dalai Lama, Kyabje Yunzin Trijang Rinpoche, they gave and received lineage of teachings reciprocally. This ideal and perfect harmony made their esteemed responsibilities very constructive and fruitful. Kyabje Ling Rinpoche.
Following holy masters who are not sectarian and free from faults, receiving their Dharma teachings without sectarian bias or conflict, and gathering virtue in sacred places without partiality or attachment, this is one of the ways of the super pilgrim, Katok Situ Shoki Gyatso.
We all, 6 million Tibetan people, believe him as reincarnations of our Vara, the Buddha of compassions, and he's the head of our country and our Buddhists. And even though he's a Buddhist, he always, when he is on the stage, he always talk about compassion from a universal point of view. That touched the audience, infinite number of audience heart. And even he is a Buddhist, he goes to the mosque, he goes to the church, and he goes to the Islamic temple, he goes to the Jewish temple. He is a non-sectarian.
His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, is much more than a Rimay master. He is the corporification of Rimay movement, the manifestation of the body, speech and mind of all the great Rimay masters of the 3 times. In brief, he is compassion Buddha, Cherazik, the full and perfect manifestation of Bodhicitta, and the spirit of Rimay movement for the benefit of all beings. This is said by someone whose first steps in Buddhism were surrounded by sectarianism, though I always had, and still have, in His Holiness, the lantern that lights and guides me in direction to enlightenment, the perfect consummation of Bodhicitta and Rimay attitude.
Buddha ultimately here, isn't it? Buddha nature, Tathagata Garba.
As His Holiness always say, promote human value, love, compassion, tolerant, and we have a human intelligence, use also inside, not always use outside, and make it happy and healthy. And then within that, then you operate or connect with the outside world.
I feel not on religion, not as a religion, but simply the science of mind.
And His Holiness is really addressing love and compassion and the clarity of a human being. based on love and compassion. Doesn't matter what kind of tradition or what kind of religions. So it's really authentic beings. If we can see that, it's very reassuring that the world is still good, in good shape.
The fact that there are a multiplicity of schools is the manifestation of the wisdom and compassion of enlightened beings. Each school can benefit different type of beings. Rimay attitude irradiates Buddhicitta and is also a method for Buddhicitta's expansion to those who don't have it. Lama Gyome.
Oh, yeah, that's it, Anna. Lamengo Chashaba Yinaya, that didn't be Chanju similar. Chikshaya Yadavadi, Sonam Chambari, Chandu Lamengo Chashanaya, didn't be chick. Any type of change with Chanju Sims there. Hoya, the dead of Chigini, Ninju Yadavadi, Yawasami Mari. No, yeah. Samba Diji,
Sectarian feelings and criticism of other teachings or other sects is very bad, poisonous, and should be avoided.
So, humanism, basic human nature is more gentleness. Gentleness not come from dullness. Gentleness come from full alerted mind, sharp mind, but more balanced with warm-heartedness. Then real human gentleness comes. So these not come from God or not come from sky or above, but come from within. So that's humanism. I think some sort of, because of the some way to look, that's it. Humanism. We are social animal. It is bound to happen different views, different sort of interest. But still, these different people who have different sort of idea, different sort of interest, they are part of the humanity, part of the society. So there's no reason to killing each other, to bully each other. Even there is some differences, we have to talk. So that's the principle of non-violence. Non-violence does not mean bow down, bowing. Non-violence, you should consider non-violence is signs of strength. Religious faith also causing problem, more divisions, more sometimes conflict, sometimes violence. It's really very, very unfortunate. Suppose various different major rich traditions, suppose teach us practice of compassion, love, forgiveness, tolerance, then that itself causing more division or more sort of conflict. It's really very, very sad.
Whether a conflict lies in the field of politics, business, or religion, an altruistic approach is frequently the sole means to resolve it. To me, it is clear. A genuine sense of responsibility can result only if we develop compassion. Only a spontaneous feeling of empathy for others can really motivate us to act on their behalf.
Warm-heartedness, concept of compassionate attitude, or compassion. It's not simply religious matter. It's a universal value. Whether accept religion or not, that's up to individual. Of course, those people who sincerely practice one's own faith, their faith immense help to increase this deeper value. So, my commitment is promoting religious harmony. So I fully committed about that and sincerely respect or appreciate of other traditions. So some my Christian friend consider me as a good Christian.
Although people may belong to Nyingma, Sakya, Kagyu, Gelug, or Bon, all should respect each other's different traditions. Communism, non-sectarianism is important, and the great Tibetan masters practiced it. Buddha Shakyamuni thought different philosophical views, which seemed to contradict each other, not due to his confusion, neither to create more confusion for his disciples, rather due to his compassion. Different people, different individuals, different mental dispositions. Therefore, it is necessary a different way of approach, different philosophical views, but with the same aim, to bring inner peace, inner strength, and to rigorously practice love and compassion.
All the teachings of Buddha are of one taste, one way, all leading to the truth, all arriving at the truth. Gongzong Shoki Zangpo.
The Rimay doctrine is never in opposition. Clinging to one's school and condemning others is the certain way to waste one's learning, since all Dharma teachings are good. Those who cling to sectarism degrade Buddhism and sever themselves from liberation. Jetsun Milarepa, The 100,000 Songs.
These days I meet Westerners who seem much attached to this or that tradition, claiming to belong exclusively to the Gelug or Kagyu traditions. Lamas should not teach their disciples to adopt such postures, but should instead foster mutual respect among our traditions.
If we follow the tradition of our own lineage and study our own lineage masters in depth, we shall find no need to feel sectarian. This way we can see the harmony of all paths. All teachings can be seen as instructions, and therefore the roots of sectarian feelings should shrivel and die.
I only can say that nowadays some people try to hide laziness to study and to the lack of knowledge of the infinite richness of all the different schools and sub-schools by pretending to be Rimay. Actually, my understanding of Rimay is just the opposite. It goes about extremely learned and accomplished masters who don't mix everything, but on the contrary, study, practice, and realize the intent of each tradition within its own context, and without any alterations, without adding or suppressing anything. Rimay is not about creating an indigestible mixture, but on the contrary, it is about deep respect for all genuine traditions and tremendous diligence in study and practice.
I would like to add that each tradition has its own lineage of transmission, so if we don't get the teachings from a qualified teacher who is holder of such a lineage, not only we are not a Rimay follower, but we can barely be called a Buddhist.
A last thing. As a beginner, it is not at all advisable to learn a bit of this tradition, then a bit of that one, and so on. The result would be that we would know nothing at the end. So let's be Rimay in our aspirations, but at the same time a serious student of one tradition as long as we are beginners. That is my advice, although I have no right to give any advice to anybody. So I just want to apologize for those stupid words. Lama Shodor.
All the different Buddhist traditions, they are like staircases leading up. One staircase might be Zen, another Theravada, another Tibetan Buddhism, etc. If one can, it is useful to learn about all the staircases, but eventually a time will come where a person has to pick a staircase. Otherwise, a person just spends time studying staircases and they never go up.
Spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama is a pioneer in building understanding between the faiths and has attracted admiration, respect from the members of all faith communities. He has prayed in mosques, temples, synagogues, and cathedrals alike. He has helped to give Tibetan Buddhism its rightful place among the world's major religions. It is thanks to him that its science of mind and compassion practices have begun to take root so very widely in the contemporary world. For Buddhism, as a great Buddhist master, His Holiness has also ensured, strengthened the authentic living lineage of Tibet, which themselves maintain the pure Nalanda tradition, so they can thrive long into the future. At the same time, he has encouraged a spirit of non-sectarianism, inspired an open and modern outlook, and awareness of science and current issues among the Tibetan Buddhist leaders and Tibetan society. You can say, in fact, that he has integrated the modern thinking into Buddhism. He is also reminding us that Buddhism is not simply prayers and rituals, but is all about transforming the mind.
There is no greater living example of the principles of Rimay than His Holiness Dalai Lama, whose own life history of study and practice and whose teachings show us that open-mindedness, curiosity, and deep respect for all genuine spiritual traditions yield the greatest possible bounty of qualities of the path and the surest course to the final fruition.
The purpose of religion is to control yourself, not to criticize others. The advantage of non-sectarianism is that after receiving the transmission of the instructions, initiations and explanations pertinent to each different tradition, we'll be able to have a better understanding of the different teachings. From my own experience, this is without doubt very beneficial. Consequently, if we keep a non-sectarian attitude, as we receive teachings from different traditions, think about them and put them in practice, it is certain we will improve our understanding of the Dharma. This is why non-sectarianism is so important.
Rimay is an aspect of realization. It comes from devotion and profound understanding. Gyalwang Drukpa.
In short, may all the teachings of the Buddha in the land of snows flourish long into the future. The 10 great pillars of the study lineage and the chariots of the practice lineage, such as Chije and the rest, all of them rich with their essential instructions combining sutra and mantra. May the lives of the masters who uphold these teachings be secure and harmonious. May the Sangha preserve these teachings through their study, meditation and activity. May the world be filled with faithful individuals intent on following these teachings, and long may the non-sectarian teachings of the Buddha continue to flourish.